What up? So, okay, let's try that again. What up, YouTube? It's Inside Out and Backwards Review, and today I am here to review Black Mass. Now, Black Mass is a movie that came out, I think, a couple weeks ago. I might be a little late to the game on this review, but I promise you, this movie is worth seeing for yourself because it is amazing. First thing is the summary of the film. So basically, the film is kind of, it's like a biopic pic, I guess you could say, about a famous mobster in Boston named James Whitey Bulger. He is a notorious gangster and was on I think America's most wanted list for a long time. And I'm not gonna spoil anything about the ending or any of that. You know, you can probably just Google it because it is a real thing. But anyways, I won't do that because I'm not that guy. So let me talk about the basic premise. So it follows his rise to power in Boston, and it kind of shows what happens and how the FBI gets involved and all these other things that allow him to become a kingpin, as they say in the film. Pretty interesting. So I'm gonna go and preface this by saying I don't really like biopic pics. Biopic pics, nice. I don't really like biopic flicks. I've never really been a huge fan. American Sniper wasn't my favorite movie. I thought it was well executed, but I didn't really like it. I loved this movie. I thought it was a really, really good movie. Not great, not perfect, but there was parts of it that I thought were very, very well done. This director is the same guy who directed Out of the Furnace, which was a movie that came out, I think, in 2013, had Christian Bale, Ben Affleck's little brother. He has a name, but that's what I call him. Forrest Whitaker, Zoe Saldana, and a bunch of other people, and he really knows how to assemble a cast. I gotta give him that. One thing is that this guy knows how to get the best out of every single actor, and he knows how he can take superstars like Zoe Saldana and give them a backseat, kind of like they did Kevin Bacon. Didn't have a huge role. Benedict Cumberbatch, one of the biggest actors in Hollywood, didn't have a huge role, but still had a phenomenal performance, and it really made the movie work well. With all these stars, sometimes what you end up having is you end up taking away from their performance. But in this movie, it worked very well. He knows how to work with actors. In my opinion, this director, one of the best directors in terms of getting actors to really perform. And it really shows with Johnny Depp, who has had a bunch of bad movies lately, and like this year, Mordecai, that was a piece of ass. And and it really shows, how he can pull out the best of actors. Because this is Johnny Depp, in my opinion, probably Johnny Depp's best performance, maybe of his career. If not, it's up there. Probably one or top 2 or 3, in my opinion. I totally lost my train of thought. So, performances in this movie. Best part of the movie, to be honest. Everything else is well executed, but the performances is really what brings this movie home, and I think that's what the director understood. He understood that it was based on the performances. If you could get good performances, the movie was going to be good. So let's start out with Johnny Depp, who everyone's been talking about, says he's amazing, and I will give you my word, he is phenomenal. You can tell that the writing is very evident in this film. You can tell that it's very strong. If you've seen the recipe scene, you can tell that it was very well written and very well crafted as a script, but without Johnny Depp's little touches into it, it would be, in my opinion, flat. He does so much with just his face and just his expression. It's incredible. There's literally a scene where he's in the backseat of a car and he starts beating the shit. This is my beating the shit out of people. He starts beating the shit out of someone in the front seat of the car, and he just stops and looks over at the driver, and you can just tell exactly what he tells him to do, and that's to start beating the shit out of him too. It's little things like that. How he, just shows just with his eyes and his face that what is going on. Also, the physical body, his body movements they're powerful, they're scary, and it was a crazy transformation for Johnny Depp. I fucking loved him in this movie. Also, another one of my favorite actors of the year so far, Joel Edgerton, who starred in one of, in my opinion, the best films of the year so far, The Gift, was also phenomenal, and in my opinion had a better character arc than even Johnny Depp. See, Johnny Depp was phenomenal, and there are parts that I'll delve into later with his character that I thought were great, but Joel Edgerton's performance was so gray. See, his character grew up in Southie, as they say, or South Boston, with James Whitey Bulger. He really feels a sense of loyalty and connection to these guys, and so he wants to clean up Boston, and you can tell that, but he also gets into this moral issue where he doesn't want to give, or tackle the Winter Hill Gang, which, Whitey Bulger leads, because he's just kind of scared that, he's gonna lose that childhood friend that he had. This character is incredibly interesting. Joel Edgerton pulls off a great performance. You can really see how he slowly slips into that darker like human being, I guess you could say, and then eventually he's completely gone. He's gotten to the point where he's defended a program so much that he starts to become part of the program in a sense. And it's just a really interesting take on, how you can kind of let certain crimes go as long as you're willing to catch other people. Very interesting. Now, other performances are Kevin Bacon, Benedict Cumberbatch, but they were all good. Benedict Cumberbatch did a really good job, hiding that British accent, and Kevin Bacon didn't get much screen time, but I felt like he was good. A few other people I wanted to highlight when it comes to performances, and I had to look them up because I don't know their name. Jesse Plemons, he plays a younger guy coming up in the Winter Hill Gang when this is all happening. I felt like he was very good. He was kind of the narrator. You'll understand when you see the movie, but they're kind of interviewing everyone about what happened, after the fact, as if the people are trying to take plea deals, so they can learn more about, Whitey Bulger, and it's interesting. He's a very good character in my opinion. Good actor, honestly, good performance. Dakota Johnson, who was in 50 Shades of Grey, great in this movie. Had a really good Boston accent, in my opinion. Just a good, really good performances all around. Next, let's talk about cinematography. Okay, so cinematography is on point. It's very good for this movie. I was very impressed. I have to say that it's not like the best thing I've ever seen, but it does the job, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty good. Nothing distracting, nothing phenomenal. Very well executed, but they didn't try super creative or super out there shots with great lighting and stuff. They had a good, they did a good job, I guess I would say. Not great. The score, pretty much non-existent. Wasn't really there. They had a couple songs mixed in. I didn't really feel like the music was really part of the movie. I would say the sound editing was good. There were certain times where I was like, that's really good sound editing, and that really doesn't happen very often for movies. And I don't know, I think that the score was not really there for me. I didn't ever notice it, so didn't distract me, but didn't really add anything to the film. I don't know. I don't have any problem with that. If the film doesn't have a score, that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it doesn't have a score. That's fine. Next thing, the overarching story. And this is one of my problems with biopic picks, personally. Biopic picks, unfortunately, since they're real life, they usually don't have great endings. I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but it's just kind of, if you've seen Zodiac, a film, I think it was Fincher made that one, Zodiac, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Mark Ruffalo, etc., etc. It's kind of like that with the ending. It's kind of like that for me. Even though I feel like it has a better ending than that movie, it's still, the ending just wasn't satisfying like I thought it would be. That's all. It wasn't a bad ending, it just, all the other stuff was so good, and the ending just kind of was like, let's go and get into things that I didn't like about this movie. I wish they would have explored, it wasn't really more of a dislike, I didn't think it was a bad thing. I wish they would have explored more of the, there was a really interesting relationship between the older brother of Whitey Bulger, the younger brother of Whitey Bulger, who was a senator, which is crazy to think that one was a kingpin and the other one was a senator. I wish they would have explored that a little bit more. Other quick gripes. I feel like at points this movie drags. There are scenes that I don't really feel add to the story. This has been a criticism of this director, in my opinion, that is actually valid. He has issues with pacing. The film, at least it was constant when it comes to pacing, but it wasn't, it wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. I thought it could have been a little faster at parts, maybe cut out a scene or two here or there. Could have maybe chopped it up a little better. So let's get down to the overall review of this movie, and it is 8 out of 10. I think this movie is a good movie, not a great one. In my opinion, acting is probably the strongest point of this film. If Johnny Depp doesn't at least get nominated for a Best Actor, I will be very angry. He was absolutely phenomenal in this film. Joel Edgerton as well. He should get a supporting actor at least nomination. Phenomenal performance by him. He's having a great year. By the way, if you haven't checked out The Gift, do so. It's a great horror film, and he also directs and writes it. So a very talented guy, and really shows it in this movie. Overall, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. Leave a like and a comment. Tell me what you like about my review. Tell me what you don't like. I'm constantly trying to improve these things. Also, tell me what you thought about my opinion on the movie. If you liked the opinion, if you disagreed with it, I want to hear your feedback, because I think that it's interesting to hear other people's, views on the film. I can see a lot of people, because I saw it twice, and the first time I saw it, I thought it was amazing. Second time I saw it, I thought it was just as good, but I went with a group the second time, and they didn't like it as much. A lot of them said they thought it was slow and wasn't what they were expecting. And if you're going and expecting a really fast-paced, violent movie, you're gonna be disappointed, because that's not really what this is. But I think it was very good. I think it was very, very good. I think anyone should check it out. Unless, actually, no, I was. If you're an adult, watch this movie. Otherwise, no kids should watch this movie. It's very dark. And that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.